Cockpit Resource Management, also known as CRM, is a system instituted by the airline industry to help improve communication within the crew flying an airplane. That work came out of observations that there was a growing disparity between the reliability of airplanes in the technological advancement sense and the reliability of the people flying the airplanes. I recently have been reading about CRM in a book entitled The Crash Detectives by author Christine Negroni. I am drawn to learning about what decision makers have done in critical situation times. Understanding that crucible leads to understanding the crucible of officiating. In the case of the airlines, CRM is about teaching communication skills. It is about moderating the hierarchy that existed and was tacitly accepted within a crew. The captain spoke, the rest listened. This single fact played an important role in the more than 80 air accidents that took place in the 1970s and 80s, but more on that in a moment. From our perspective, let's change the airline CRM to our own. Crew Resource Management, also CRM. We work in crews. We fly the game as a crew, and it is critical that our communication be open, directional, and productive. We have our captain/crew chief, referee, white hat, chair umpire, or whatever else we call that person. Generally, the official with the most hours in quotes is identified for that role. The crew is filled out with 1, 2, 5, or more members. They range in experience from tested to tyro. That is our crew, at least in name. But does the group function as a crew? Prior to adoption of the CRM, pilots had been well trained in aircraft systems and basic flying skills, but virtually nothing had been done to teach them about leadership, communication, and decision making. I am sure you already sense the parallels for an officiating crew. I will let you flesh out the details from your own experiences. Now, back to the pilots and a tragic lesson. Captain Bob Lutz was one of the Eastern Airlines' more senior captains, having 30,000 hours of experience. His first officer on Eastern Airlines Flight 401 was Bert Stockstill, a former Air Force pilot who had 6,000 hours and had even more experience on the new Lockheed L-1011 that they were flying. The flight engineer that day had nearly 16,000 flight hours. As Flight 401 approached Miami International Airport that day in December 1972, the nose wheel landing gear indicator light did not come on. Lutz, not knowing whether it was the bulb or the landing gear, chose to do a go-around. They were cleared to fly at 2,000 feet, and the crew began diagnosing the situation. During the process of removing the light fixture and then trying to reinsert it, someone inadvertently had turned off the altitude hold. This was not noticed by the crew nor by a mechanic in the jump seat. The entire crew was trying to fix the light. As the plane dropped, an alert began to sound. No one seemed to hear it. They were close to concluding that it was just a bad bulb when the first officer noticed the plane's descent. The crew's focus on one problem had caused it to lose awareness of the total environment. First officer, we did something to the altitude. Captain, what? We're still at 2,000, right? The captain's final words were, hey, what's happening here? 10 seconds later, Eastern Flight 401 smashed into the Everglades, killing 111 of the 177 people on board. Captain Loft and First Officer Stockstill were among those killed. Crew Resource Management, CRM, a concept for our times. Thank you.